Everybody, Thomas here. You ever get that feeling like, man, everything's going great, and then you realize, oh crap, I just completely got the numbers wrong on this order I had to do. Well, this just happened to me. Long story short, I completely goobered up the number of boards I need to complete a job. I did calculate the board footage correctly, but whenever I was calculating myself the time and how many boards I was cutting, I severely undercut myself. The order that I have right now is for these planks essentially to be for ceiling. This is going to be covering up some type of material. I don't know exactly what, but the area that I'm covering is 24 foot wide, so two 12-foot wide sections making a peak on a vaulted ceiling by 30 foot long. So the pieces I'm cutting are 6 inches wide, half-inch thick, by about 13.6 foot long. So the issue is, when I thought to myself in my head, based on the board footage, oh, it's only going to be 60 boards. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. It was 60 boards on each side. It's 120 boards. I think what threw me off was the 1 inch thickness by half-inch thickness. Long story short, I got some cutting to do. I was doing some time lapse earlier, and I had to move this log around a whole lot. It had some gnarly sections. But what I have right now is a 12 by 15 cant, roughly. It does have some live edge on it. I'm going to turn it up on, well, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and cut it where it's at now at 6 inches because I'm at the 12-inch height the way it sits. I'll turn it on its side and then start slabbing down at half-inch increments. Now when you do that, your last board is not going to be a half-inch because of the way the mill is set up. I've got the little stops on the side. Whenever you lower down the log stops, those are like 3/4 inch high. So my last board's gonna be a 1 inch. So you have to kind of keep that in consideration. I think I've considered that, and everything should be good. So long story short, last board will be hopefully 1 inch, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna throw in a time lapse because we've got a thunderstorm system that's about to roll through later on this evening. The winds are picking up. It's getting kind of crazy, so I'll have to do a lot of this on a time lapse. I'll shoot the 6 inch cut at live action speed, and then I'll do the rest in the time lapse. This one here should get me a number of boards. I think it'll get me roughly 40 something boards, 48-ish, maybe more. And the reason that it will be a little bit less than that is because I have some live edge sections that aren't really to my advantage. That's all right though. And go and crank up the mill. I think I have enough water for one more cut before I put the time lapse on. There we go. That should be good. Yep, I got just barely enough water. I just put a new blade on here, so hopefully this will be cutting better. But I was running my last blade pretty dull. So here we go. Holy cow, that's a lot of cutting. This is going slow. But again, we're cutting at 1/2 inch increments. This is the first 32. And I still have a good 5.5 inches to still go. So another, what, 20 or so to go? No, something like that. 18 to 20 or so more boards to get out. About 18. I got 16. I got to count for the inch difference here at the bottom that I'm not going to get back. Whew, this is slow cutting. I mean, I don't know exactly how long that time lapse is going for, but man, it's slow cutting. But they are looking really good, and they are very consistent across the board. But looks pretty cool though. Man, 32 so far, pretty impressive. Tommy's getting in trouble, but mama. But yeah, a lot more to go. Again, I have 120 of these to go, so pretty impressive. Stay tuned for more. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. That's the first 50 boards. That ain't bad. Out of one log, I have quite a few more to go. That's all good though. Only about 70 more to go. So really, oh, I just ran into the sawmill there. Really, 2 and say 1/4 logs. Maybe if I get the next log where I can get a bigger cant, I may be able to get it out of the second log, but we'll see. Now the hard part and the crappy part is to actually sweep these dang boards. So I have, in a distance, you really can't tell, it's way behind the tractor out there by the gate. I have some slats that I have these on, try to keep them up off the ground. We're supposed to have a big rain tonight. I'm actually going to use a rain to knock a lot of the sawdust off of one side, and then tomorrow I'll get out there and sweep the other side. So woo, good times. Oh, and also during that time lapse, you probably saw me clean out the exhaust side. Yeah, apparently on one of the boards it filled up, and then I didn't notice it until I was like just getting into the next board. I'm like, crap. And it was just, I mean, that thing was jam packed with sawdust. That's how it is. So simple check when you're making that many cuts, especially on pine. If I'm running the water pretty heavy to keep that resin build up and everything, all the pitch on the blades, you build up a lot of sawdust. And as you can see, I made a lot of sawdust. It's just like you know, summertime snow. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to do any more filming on this, but I hope this has been kind of interesting. It shows a lot of repetitive cuts, and it shows you just how important having a computer system, as setworks is. I mean, without that setworks, this would have been a pain to cut. It would have taken a lot longer. This is very slow cutting because there's so many multiple cuts. I mean, this is one where you can't say I cut this many board foot. This one's like I cut this many, you know, times in one board. It was a lot. So yeah, not the most interesting, but it is cool to see how the saw cuts consistently, cut after cut. So all right, we'll see you around. Thanks. Bye.